Good morning, everybody. So, welcome to today's webinar. So, as we have people now streaming in, let me launch this poll to let me know that how many first timer is here today. So, I'll just tell you a bit more about what we do. We have a daily webinar where Jin will be walking you through his thoughts and ideas on specific currency each day. So Monday we talk about Aussie and Kiwi, Tuesday on Euro, Wednesday on Pound, Thursday on Yen and Gold, and Friday will be Cat and Oil. So I would like to see like how many of first timer here. So and let me paste our schedule here and to let you all know how our whole weeks runs. So today is Thursday. So June will be speaking about yen and gold. This webinar is going to be very beneficial for long-term investor and also short-term traders. So during this session, Jin will be going through like what could move prices, possible trade ideas, highlighting potential targets and risks. So a very important disclaimer, any information shared during this session is not intended to be trade recommendation. It's solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. So I'm Kenneth here. I've known Jin for about a couple of years, about 4 years plus. First as a business partner, then after I became a coach, and first as a student, then we became a coach. Then after I became a business partner in Forex Briefcase. So Jin runs LCMS Traders and Forex Briefcase as a trading coach and a $1 million trader. So what it means that he trades and also being invited to speak in many stages globally. So in fact, that reason that you might be here is because that you have seen him presenting some of the places or has attended his course before. So while we are about to get started, let me launch another poll. That's how did you know about this webinar? Yeah, I've just launched it. Please help me fill this up. And while you are filling up, let me hand over to Jin to talk about today's currency.
Hello, good morning, everyone. It is, what is it called? Dumpling Festival. So I hope you got your little dumplings for tonight or afternoon, whatever. I bought mine last night already. So just a little side note on that. I see that we, as everyone who's voted, we have everyone who's a regular, no newbies today. So I will change it up a little bit. We'll get straight to the hard and interesting things that we're going to be talking about. Today we're talking about the yen and gold. Some possible trade ideas coming up. I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me a big thumbs up if we're good to go. If you're excited to find out about yen and gold, give me a big thumbs up. Got 2 thumbs, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11? Do I see 11? 11, 12. Okay, just playing with you. Let's get started. So first things I'm going to do is look at the news. So today is Thursday. Looking at the news, China is on a bank holiday for Dragon Boat Festival, right? Japan has a bit of a news, euro, pound, euro policy meeting accounts. The US with a bit of a GDP number coming through tonight. And then tomorrow, nothing much as well. China still on their holiday. And then consumer sentiment. Because we're end of the week, I'll be looking at next week's news as well. So next week, Monday, we have the governor of England speaking for Climate Financial Risk Forum. Probably not going to do that much. Chinese manufacturing PMI will affect the Aussie dollar. I'll talk about that on Monday. Canadian GDP, Powell. All right, so what you'll notice is that there is nothing much happening this week for the next couple of days this week all the way to next week as well. So you'll notice that on Friday, the first Friday of July, We do not have the non-farm employment numbers. It's actually going to be on Thursday. So you'll see that it's going to happen a little bit earlier. The non-farm employment numbers is on Thursday next week. So pretty much going to be a bit smooth sailing until next week, where we see the employment numbers coming from the US about the hourly earnings, the employment change numbers, and the unemployment rate. Apart from that, no big surprises. Powell speaking on Wednesday morning could move the market a little bit, but we don't expect there to be much surprises there on Wednesday morning. So everything should be quite smooth sailing till Thursday evening, where the non-farm is going to happen. So take note, put a star on your calendar, write it down, do something. Make sure that you know that non-farm is not going to happen on Friday next week. It's going to happen on Thursday next week, right? So that's quite straightforward. Let's look at the charts right now, right? So I would normally guide you through, take you through what we do on LCMS Traders Club, but I know most of you already are LCMS Traders Club members, so I'm not going to go through that today. I think one of the guys will put in the link there for you if you want to find out more, but I'll jump straight into the charts, keep it short and sharp today. All right, so US yen. Why I really wanted to focus a lot on the charts today is because there's going to be quite a lot of interesting setups that could happen here. US yen, actually, I feel that it's reacted very, very nicely to this 106.87 level. I mean, I had this line there for a very long time. I've spoken about it over several weeks. You know, we said that it was going to test this level. It could test lower and bounce up. It does look like it has tested lower, stretched it across a couple of weeks, tested lower, and it does look like it's bouncing up. At this point here, I do think that we could see the US yen start making that move upwards. All right, so could the US yen come lower? Possibly. But however, I do think that we could see the upward move from this 106.87 level. One of the reasons being, you know, that whole threat of that second wave coming for the COVID-19 cases, not just in the US, but globally. Australia's worried about it again. We had, I think, Europe and the UK getting worried as well. The US is worried as well. So we could see people start moving into reserve currency. That could be the yen, but it also could be the US dollar. So that's why we could see a little bit of a strengthening in the US dollar. So on the daily time frame, how I look at it is we could see this move back upwards of the 106.87 level for the US yen. Looking at it more closely on the H4 time frame, it is actually coming very close to a point where I'll be very interested if it can close, if this 4-hour candle can close quite nicely at this point, which is above the 107.13 level. So we can close quite nicely above. I would say, you know, let it get to 107.30, and then you're looking at a good 50 pip stop, 50, 60 pip stop loss for a possible 100, or even up to all the way to the top 150 pips take profit. So that could be a trade. It's slightly risky, right? It's slightly risky because we are going against the recent move, which has since 5th of July been coming lower and testing this support level at 106.87. If it does bounce up, I do anticipate quite a nice move upwards, which could look like what happened in early June. It bounced off this support level and very quickly went up, tested the 109, possibly the 110 level, and then redecide from there. So at this point, I'm looking for exactly is for this candle to close quite positive. This candle to close quite positive. Then we can see a, again, just to repeat for some of you who's just streaming in, you know, we can see the 107.30 level with a possible 50, 60 pip stop loss. and 100 to 150 pip take profit. So that's the potential upside move on the US yen. Okay, if you have any questions, please put it in the sidebar on the Zoom chat there. We have the guys who will be looking and checking back, letting me know if there's any questions. This is also being streamed live on Facebook. So, if any of you are watching on Facebook, if you have questions, jump onto the Zoom chat and then let us know from there. So there's the US yen on the daily time frame, and on H4 looks like it could be moving higher off the 106.87 level. For the euro yen, it looks like it's going to be a good trade. It looks like it's actually a bit late for a good trade. There is still an opportunity, however, the risk might be a little bit higher. So why I say that is, we actually said the last time I spoke about this, I said that it was possibly going to go up, test a little bit before coming down, breaking, possibly if it breaks the 119.38 level, it could go lower. What happened was it went up a little bit, tested the 119.38 level and couldn't break, right? So when it comes to a level and it doesn't break, we saw a very nice bounce upwards. That was a good 116 pip move upwards over 1, 2, 3, 4 days. Well, even over 2 days, we saw 150 pip move upwards off the 11938 level. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying that Euro Yen looks like it might be a bit late for that upward move, to jump into the upward move, to jump into a trade for that upward move, right? I'm getting my tongue all tied up here. However, if you wanted to jump into a medium term, longer term kind of trade, looking at a 160 pip stop loss or 150 pip stop loss for a 150 pip take profit, it's still a positive risk reward ratio. However, it's not as attractive as what could happen in the US yen. But looking at it on the H4 time frame, if you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, I still think that we can see the Euro Yen move up of this level. But remember, when you check the Euro Yen, we just saw what we think about the US Yen. We also want to see what's possibly going to happen to the Euro Dollar. Euro Dollar, the last time I spoke about it, I said it's possibly going to move up a little bit before coming down. It did move up a little bit, less than I expected, and it started coming down. It possibly could sit here and go down a little bit before turning back up, right? So with how I look at the US yen and how I look at the euro dollar, looking at the euro yen, I do believe that it's possibly going to go upwards. But at this point, I would keep stops very tight. So keep your stop loss very tight, keep it 40 pips, not more than 40 pips, because you're looking at 100 pips take profit there. So you're still looking at risking 40 to make 100 or 110. Still very good risk reward ratios there. Well, more than one, more than two, right? Almost 3 times. So it's still that possibility, but that downside move could be quite a potential downside move. So keep your stops tight, because if you were to enter a trade here and have anything of a bigger stop, it's not going to be worth that trade. But if you did it very tight, 40 pips, 40, 50 pips for 110 pip take profit, that would be quite reasonable. So looking at the US yen, possible upside move, very attractive trade there. Looking at the euro yen, not for the medium term, not for the longer term trades. I would keep it quite short term, short to medium term. Keep stops tight. Look for that intro move upwards towards this level. So why I drew my brown line to this point here is because of this recent high point. So that's why that would be one of my targets, not up to that line, but up to this point as my target. All right. So very quickly, I went through US yen and euro yen. Let me just check if there are any questions. All right, no questions so far. Daniel with the Summaries, awesome, good stuff. Let's jump straight. I could go into the pound yen, but I'll switch it up again. I'll jump into gold. All right. Why I want to look at gold is because I have been calling for 1730 for such a long time. It finally broke. It finally broke. It only broke when I said that it possibly would not break, and then it went straight out of 1730. It went all the way to 1780, and then it looks like it's stalling there again. At this point, I do think that, well, first I do need to reset this chart because it's starting to look a lot messy. But I do think that we could see further upside move on gold. We could see further upside move on gold. However, there looks like there might be a little bit of a retracement before further upside move. So it looks like it's going to be a little bit of that downward move, maybe not as much, a little bit of a downward move before going back up again, right? A little bit of a downward move, very minor downward move before going back up again. But remember that the 1800 level is going to be quite a resistance level. A round number, psychological number, 1800 is going to be a resistance level. So if you wanted to trade gold, you know, same thing, let it come down, let it bounce back up. Only when it goes above 1775, look for that tight stop with a very good take profit upwards. Still looking at a almost 1-to-2 risk reward ratio for this gold trade upwards towards 1800. What happens at 1800? Let me just put a line there actually. So at 18, what happens at 1800 here? I do think that it's going to get resisted, come back down, sit within that range again before possibly going higher. I'm still looking at 1850, 1900, 1950, but that's probably going to take a lot longer. It even took all the way since April, that April when? April 13th, when gold went into this range. And since April 13th to now, it's finally broken up towards 1800. So if it goes to 1800, it probably will sit there for another 1-2 months before possibly going to 1900 or even beyond that. So have a lot of patience when you're trading gold. Volatility is there. Have a lot of patience. If you are going to be a bit more speculative, keep your stops tight. If not, you could get caught out for a very big downside when you're trading gold. All right. So, any questions again? I see that blinking. Let's switch to that. No, good stuff. Lucky last. We're looking at pound yen. Lucky last, looking at pound yen. Pound yen actually looks very similar to euro yen, right? So I'll just switch to the euro yen chart right now. It looks, on the daily time frame, it looks very similar. It went down, tested the support level, bounced back up, sitting in a doji consolidation range for the past couple of days. Same thing with pound yen. It went down, it bounced up, it's sitting at that level, hasn't really done much for the last couple of days as well. At this point, I would advise, the best advice I would say is stay away from pound yen. Why? Why stay away from pound yen? It looks like it's coming down and then moving across. At that point, it could go up to this 135.43 level. It could come down towards this 130.87 level. So it's right in the middle of these 2 points. I'm not super tended to call it either to go higher or lower, because as you look at pound yen, looking at US yen, we see that it could go higher. Looking at the pound dollar, it actually looks like it could sit there. It could. I did call for it go higher, but then it looks like it's trying to come lower down on the H4 time frame. It looks like it's possibly if it breaks below this 1.2343 level, which is quite close, it could come lower again. So pound yen is going to have a bit of a conflicting view. We could see US yen trying to push it up a little bit. We could see the pound dollar trying to push it down a little bit. I anticipate that we're going to see a lot more volatility in the pound yen. So on the daily time frame, I'm not too sure whether to say it's going to go a lot higher or a lot lower. On the H4 time frame, it even reinforces that view, because on H4 time frame for the whole week now, well, since Monday to now, it's been sitting in this absolute range of 200. But if you actually look at it in reality, apart from that big move, it's actually been sitting in a tight 50 pip range move. So at this point, trading this will be highly speculative. You need it to break above 133.50 before you would think that it's going to go any higher, but your stops will be about 100 pips or 150 pips. Still positive, but not fantastic. For it to go any lower, you need it to break below 132.50. Again, stop loss is 120 something pips for a take profit of 130, 120 something pips as well. So, not fantastic. Again, this is probably one of the pairs I would not be looking at over the next couple of days. The US yen, far more interesting. The euro yen, far more interesting than the pound yen. Gold is going to be a bit of a medium longer term kind of trading opportunity there. All right. So I have rambled on short through everything. Do you have any questions? No questions. Everyone's happy. Good stuff. We went through CAD yen. I don't actually look at CAD yen. So Tio Jinwei, if you're CAD yen, let me see. I don't have that chart. No, I don't have that chart open. I don't actually look at CAD yen that much. So ask it in the Traders Club. I'm sure one of the guys who do all the signals will. I think Daniel does the signals on CAD yen. So Daniel will probably elaborate a bit more on CAD yen in the Traders Club. Alrighty. All right. So Kenneth, take it back.
Yeah, I think I saw some question from this Dandy asking if to enter this UJ trade, what is the stop loss recommended? So I can answer because during just now when Jin is, just look through the video, how he placed the whole chart and everything on the recommendation. So it's as for UJ for US yen is about 50-60 pip, stop loss to about 150 to 160 take profit. So do look back at the chart, look back our video.
Okay. So just do a quick recap for Dante there. It needs to be this 4-hour candle needs to close quite strongly, quite positively before I would look to buy. Like Kenneth said, stop loss about 40-50 pips, relatively tight for a take profit of about 100 to possibly 150 pip take profit. So looking at that level. Thanks for that summary, Kenneth.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot. I really like your sharing today. That's giving me more trade ideas for today. So after this, I'm going to analyze my chart and see my own analysis. If it fits into my own trading, then I will look into entering in any of those trades. So as we are coming close to this session, let me launch a poll to let us know how do you think about this webinar. Okay, I just launched it. And please help me fill this up. And by the way, a recording of this video will be uploaded in LCMS YouTube channel. So I'll thank you all for joining the session for today. I'll be looking forward for tomorrow where we will be talking about CAD and oil. Yeah.
Trade safe, trade well. Possibly not a lot of trades to enter as well, right? So trade especially safe, especially well. Take care now. See you all tomorrow, 11 o'clock. Bye. Thank you, Amy. Thanks, Ty. Thank you, Harriet. Thank you, Jimmy. Catch you all later. Bye. See you. Bye. 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 Bye.